Welcome, welcome back to my channel, everyone. One thing that really grinds my gears is when I speak to another photographer and they say they don't do any sort of post-processing on their photographs. The reality is you do need to do some post-processing to your images, and even if it's just simple stuff like what I'm going to show you guys today. All right, so I should note that I do shoot raw files. So when I open up Photoshop, it automatically opens the camera raw. So just so you know, you're gonna need to have camera raw installed for for the part that I'm gonna show you. All right, so first, this image looks a little blue, and that is because when I when I shot this photograph, I used the incorrect white balance. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on white balance here under the basic panel, and we're gonna pick a white balance. Let's go with cloudy. Um, Daylight doesn't look too bad either, there, but we're gonna go with cloudy. Well, actually, no, I think daylight looks better. All right, so this contrast slider, this controls the difference between the lights and the darks. If you slide it all the way to the left, there is very little contrast. All the way to the right, there is a lot of contrast. So I'm going to slide it over to 20. This highlight slider will control the highlights of the image. Slide to the left, oops, left, you get less highlights. Slide it to the right, you get brighter highlights. I'm gonna choose a dimmer highlight. That looks good. All right, shadows are going to do the same thing as highlights, except instead of working the highlights and manipulating the highlights, we are going to manipulate the shadows. So again, slide to the left, make the shadows darker. Slide to the right to make them lighter. We're going to slide them to the left. 15 looks pretty good. All right, whites. Slide this slider to the left to make the whites less, or make the whites dimmer. Slide them to the right, make them brighter. So I'm gonna, well, the snow is pretty bright already, so I'm gonna slide it. I'm actually gonna dim the whites a little bit. 10 looks pretty good. And blacks, this is slide to the left and it darkens the blacks. I'm actually going to slide it to the right a little bit. There we go. All right, next we're going to come down to the clarity slider, and this will improve or I'll show you what it does, but it really looks nice in photographs, in my opinion. It just makes the photos look so much sharper and crisper, and looks amazing. All right, dehaze, you can slide to the left, and it makes the photo look cloudy, or it makes the photo look hazy or foggy. Slide to the right, a lot less foggy. I'm actually going to slide it left a little bit. All right, now the vibrance, this is going to enhance the more minor and more modest colors. Like, watch what it does to the red on, just take a look at what it does. Saturation, this adds more color to all the colors, basically. As you can see, the bridge is a lot more red, but you can also see a lot more color in the background, in the trees and in the background. So I'm going to slide it to the right a little bit and slide it to about 30. All right, so the curve panel, this is getting a little bit more in depth, but actually, you know what, let me make it 15. So I'm going to show you what you can do with the curves. All right, so this is a bit more in depth than most of the edits, but it's also not too extensive. So what I want to do is I want to make the bridge pop out more. I want it to make the red look more prominent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a point. And this is going to manipulate the entire photograph. All right, so that's not exactly what I wanted to do. All right, detail. So what I want to do is actually going to be down here in the color mixer. And watch as I slide the red slider. Watch what happens to the bridge. I can slide it. If I slide it left, it looks pretty much black and white. I'm going to slide it right, all the way to 100. Right there is good. Detail. This will be the sharpening, or this is where you're going to be doing a lot of the sharpening and the noise reduction. So I'm going to sharpen it a little bit. Set to 70. Make it look nice. Well, actually, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that for now. Okay. Alrighty. So now I'm going to show you the next steps in Photoshop. Now we're going to wait for the image to load. Alright, so now I want to get rid of, if you look closely, you can see there are some spots. My image sensor is not the greatest. I mean, it does need to be serviced or replaced. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to remove the spots from a photograph next. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to select it on the spot healing brush, and you're going to right click and you want to make sure that you get a brush that's a pretty good size. I'm going to slide it to 100 for what I'm going to do. Some people do like to use smaller brushes, and that's not me. I prefer using larger ones. I'm going to zoom out to fit on screen. When I use the spot healing brush, I like to ensure that my brush is just large enough for the spot that I'm gonna heat and I'm gonna remove. It just makes I just think it makes things a lot simpler. There we go. This image looks a little crooked, so we're gonna straighten it out with the ruler tool, which is hidden underneath. Well, usually it's hidden underneath the eyedropper tool, but I've got it queued up right here. It can be a little hard to judge just how straight the ruler will be. And we're going to come up here to hit straighten layer. Actually, that is too much. Escape. Oh. All right, so go back to the ruler tool. And just want to make it look believable. Again, maybe a little too much there. And come on, straighten layer. All right, this is looking pretty good. All right, there we go. That's much better. All right, and now this looks like a significantly better photograph than the one we started with. And now you guys know some simple photograph or some simple Photoshop techniques that you can implement on your next photograph, or perhaps you have to save a photograph that you screwed up. Now you know how to. All right, thank you all for watching. I look forward to seeing your photographs.